Well, it's almost noon, and I'm taking my good buddy Little Mac. He's going to go to the groomer today. He's going to get himself a nice little haircut, which is Tuesday, because on Thursday he has to go to the vet and get his rabies shot. And he's just laying over here. He says, I don't know where I'm going and what's going to happen. But he said, I like being in the car with Daddy. Yes, I do. Anyway, Thursday he'll get his rabies shot, and I'm gonna have the doctor check his ears, and, you know, just give him a good physical. It's been about, I guess it's been about 6-7 months since he's had one. And being as old as he is, I want him checked regularly. So we're taking him to a place called the Paw Spa, and it's in Bologna, Arkansas, and there's a lady that owns it and runs it, and her name is Kathy. Maybe I can get her to say hi to everybody, maybe not, I don't know. There's Kathy's mailbox, got a little dog paw on it. I thought that was pretty cool when I first came here. And her place is all the way back there. Let's go ahead and turn in. Her husband built her this. He's a handy little feller. She had an original shop was on this cement platform on the right hand side you see here. But she outgrew it. It was a pretty small place, and he built her this one right here, straight across from it. Did a great job too. She's all set up now. Let's see if I can get her to talk to us. Old Mac likes to always scope out the area before he goes inside to get his hair cut. But when she gets done, he'll look really handsome. And here's Kathy. Say hi, Kathy.
Hi.
There's Kathy, the lady that cuts Mac's hair. What kind of dog is that right there you're cutting?
This is a miniature schnauzer.
A what?
A miniature schnauzer.
A miniature schnauzer. Anyway, how long have you had the Paw Spa here?
It'll be 9 years this year.
9? And you just one day decided to do it, or did you work for someone else?
I was a groomer for 3 years.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That was a good decision you made, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right on your own property. You got a handy husband that can make just about anything, right?
Do what?
I said, on your own property with a husband that can make just about anything, right?
Yeah, right.
He's really a handy fella. He really is.
I was in town for many years, so I paid to be in town for many years before I came out here.
Oh, okay.
But, I was always afraid to be off the beaten path. I was afraid nobody would come find me,
Yeah, build it and they will come.
Yeah, I love that now.
That's right. Well, I'm glad everybody got to meet Kathy. Around these parts, if you get your plants in early, like we did, we got ours in, what, March? Around the 4th of July is the big day, and we should have tomatoes to be picked. Look at here, we've already got a bunch of nice big old orange ones popping up back in there. Look at that. Got another one right here. They're starting to turn really good. And on the 4th of July, we'll probably pluck a few tomatoes, and we're going to definitely open up the old first potato. The Buzz Buster potato pot will come open, at least one on the 4th of July. And over here our eggplants are, I'm still fascinated by these eggplants. I thought they were dead, I thought they were gone, wiped out. The rain tore them up, but look at this. We're getting eggplants everywhere. There's another one there, there's another one there, and we got another one here. There's another small one popping up there, and we got this big giant one, which was the first to come out. I got to get with wifey and find out how much bigger she wants this thing to get before we pull it off. But we got blooms everywhere. We're doing real good. So I think this has been a real surprise plant, as they say. The Cinderella plant. These are the tomatoes I want to start getting red. These are the big suckers. They're just monstrous in size. They're really good. We got some big ones there. We've also got some orange ones down there in the bottom turning. These are the big ones over here. Great big ones. So maybe a few more days. I think by July 4th we're going to be ready. And as you can see, the potato buckets the plants have just about had to lick. The one I grew over here, that's that extra slip I had that I planted in the box, you can see it's all dried out. It's completely dried out there, so we'll see. This will be the first bucket we open on July 4th. And last but not least, our cucumber plants are starting to put out cucumbers everywhere. So we're getting, I don't know, I can sit here and count at least 8 or 10, and there'll probably be more by the end of the week. So we're doing pretty good in this department, and the bees are still working them real good. As long as I keep the grass cut and keep the clover down. They want to work that clover instead of working this stuff. There's a bee right there flying around. I actually saw some honeybees the other day. I thought that was neat. Anybody want to buy some onions? And there's old Mac. He's just looking real handsome today. He got after his haircut. He looks really good. I tell you what, I hope there's no girl poodles around here. They'll be all over you. Anyway, tomorrow he gets his rabies shot, and they're going to check him for heartworms and give him a complete physical from top to bottom. He's a handsome little devil. Look at him. Hey, boy. I have decided to give Wifey the privilege of harvesting our first tomato. We have a whole clump of them there that are just about ready. But she says what, 1 or 2 are ready to come off. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
All right, go ahead and get the one that you think is ready. I thought they were a little too orange yet. Well, that's not too shabby. Well, that's not too bad. All right, not bad for our first one. Is that the only one we got? Don't we have a bigger one?
Yeah, over here.
All right, those are the only 2 that are ready?
Yep.
I think that one's a little too orange.
No, this one's ready. It's soft.
Well, there it is, our first harvest of tomatoes. And the rest will be ready within a few days. We're going to be out here probably harvesting like crazy. I'm going to have one of these for my lunch today. I'm just finishing up with the morning watering. I really give these things, all the tomato plants and the cucumbers, I give them a really deep watering. You know, I think I've said this once before. If you grow cucumbers and they taste bitter after their harvest, you didn't give them enough water. Bitter cucumbers did not get enough water, and tomatoes with thick skins, really thick skins, did not get enough water. So you have to, you know, especially in the neck of the woods where we live here, you know, we've really got to deep water these things almost every day, and that'll keep everything a lot better tasting. Trust me, and I have to water every morning before I go to work. This morning we're going to try to cut a piece of veneer. I don't know if I'll get around to ironing it on or not, but I want to at least get the veneer cut 15 3/4 inches for the top of this case. And I have my little square down here with the veneer laying down. I've got it lined up as straight as I can get it along this top edge. Then I'm going to, you know, push some pressure down here and take this little knife, and I'm going to just scroll right down across there. Just cut all the way down and give us a straight edge. You have to start out with a straight edge because this is a straight edge. So let's get that done. Alright, there's my straight edge. That's as good as I can get it. And this is the piece we cut off. This will not be a perfect operation. I have never done this before. But we're going to do the very best we can, okay? And that's all you really can do when you're a hobbyist. You just do the very best you can, you know, and some things are going to turn out perfect for you. Others are not. You always have to understand that. Now we're going to measure down 15 3/4 inches. We're going to mark it very carefully with a very sharp pencil. And then we're going to cut the same way we cut here. Now when you do the cut, try to cut on, you know, run your blade down on the side of the wood that you're not going to use. If the blade were to slip, it won't make any difference because the one you're going to use is over here, away from the edge of the blade. Hope that makes sense. So all I'm going to do now is just cut it right straight down there, and hopefully it'll fit as closely as I can get it. Wow, check this out. Wifey just came from the garden. She said, I'll pick the garden while you cut your veneer. Look what she came back with. Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It is.
We're about ready to go on this old top veneer piece. I've got it just about as close as I can get it. There may be a 32nd of an inch difference on one side, maybe the other, because this box is not exactly 100% square like it should be, but it's not. Anyway, it's I think it'll turn out pretty good as long as it stays in one spot. I got a heavy can of lacquer thinner right now holding it down. All I'm going to do is tack it down in the center. Once I get it tacked down in the center with the iron, then I'll just start, you know, running it out to the edges all the way around. There'll be a little It's kind of a slow process. You know, you don't want to do this. You're not ironing clothes here. You're slowly pushing it out. But at the same time, you don't want to leave it on there too much because you will burn the wood. It's one of those touchy-feely things. You just got to figure it out. Alright, the front edge is tacked down, as you can see. This is still pretty warm right here, and this here has to go next. So I'll just shoot straight backs now until I get the entire center of the veneer glued in place. Gotta kind of go slow and easy like. We're trying to melt that glue on the other side. This is probably very old veneer. It's black walnut. It's probably been around for quite a while, so you know, the glue may not be, you know, the best in the world. Hopefully it'll work. Alright. Get up here on the edge. Put a little pressure along that edge. Alright. Now I'll let that cool down, then I'll just work my way out left and right. Piece of cake. And there we go. A little bit of light sanding. Just to kind of even up to get rid of some of these blotchy spots. I don't know what that is. Probably some of the glue came all the way through the wood. There might have been some thin spots. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to go ahead and sand it down very lightly by hand. Just enough to kind of get rid of some of that stuff. Still pretty hot for me ironing it. Whew. And then we're going to trim off the back edge a little bit. We're over about, maybe a quarter of an inch or so. And then we're going to do the same thing for the ends, both ends of it. Along the front edge of this veneer that I ironed, you'll notice that it's not entirely tacked down. If I can get a little focus here. God, I hate. There we go. See how it's not exactly tacked down? It's that old glue, you know. It's going to happen depending on how old the veneer is. So what do we do about that? Well, it's very simple. Just like we did on that big old 1931 airline chassis. Cabinet that had the veneer loose. We just put a little bit of wood glued all the way down in there, all the way down. Then we let it dry. Make sure the wood glue gets down in there pretty far as we can get it. Clean it off with a wet rag, let it dry, then just re-iron it. That's all. This stuff can't get any easier, okay? Next time what we're going to do, I'll have the front edge re-glued back down. And next time what we'll do is we'll go ahead and stain this thing, finish it. And that'll be the end of it, folks. We ought to be able to get it back into the cab. My camera's having a lot of problems focusing here today. I don't know why. I hope I don't have to buy a new camera. Anyway, that's it for now on this right here. We're going to call a halt to this until the next Mish-Mash video. These are the two speakers I picked up at the St. Joseph Catholic Church flea market here in town a while back. I only paid $1 a piece. That's about all they're worth, really. But they're going to work real good with the Montclair SS100 that I have. They're great little stereo speakers. The problem is the back of these things had wires that connect to the back of the stereo that they came from. And I don't want wires because the back of the Montclair has RCA connectors. So what I did was pull the wires out through the little hole you see right there. I drilled a hole here first and then fished the wires out. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to cut the wires down. They're a little bit too long right now, but I'm going to cut them down and then we're going to go ahead and put this up here. And that way I'll have, RCA connectors on the back of the speakers that I can plug and unplug real easy. Piece of cake. I'll have both of them done like that. First I'm going to position them where I want, put a little hot glue and glue them in place. And then after they're glued in place, I'm going to go ahead and drill a little hole top and bottom here and put a little screw in there for added support. But I'm not going to use that much glue, just enough, to hold them in place. The screws that I use will be the primary support. For those of you who watch my Mish-Mash videos, I just did a repair in the bathroom wall, such as it was. Anyway, I had some of this stuff left over, so I just cut it into a couple of 3-inch square pieces, bored a hole in the middle, and then mounted one of these RCA connectors in there. I got 10 of these on eBay for practically nothing. I just couldn't believe it. They may not be the best in the world, Some audiophile would say, no, they got to be triple ionized plated laser, magnetized or something, but not me. This is fine. This will work great for the speaker. Just bore a hole, put it in, come with insulators and everything. And the red wire will go to the center, and the black wire will go to that funny looking tab sticking out there. And there you are, all hooked up. I've got the positive lead going to the center on the connector, and of course the negative lead, which is the black with the red trace. In this case, it has a red trace on it, goes to the tab, the grounding tab. So let's get them put in there. Alright, we're just going to put a little glob right there and put a little glob right there. We don't have to go crazy with it. And hopefully this wire will go down through without catching on anything, and I'll be able to lay it right in there between those lines. And it did. Looks like it's going to fit pretty darn good. Still moving around just a tad. There we go. That's all it takes. Now I'm going to drill a hole here and here on each one and put a small screw in. Well, there we go, folks. Everything is all done. Everything's connected the way I want it, and we'll be connecting them up in the very near future. You know, they're not the greatest speaker in the world, just a couple of cheap RCAs, but you know, for $1, I'm not going to squawk. Now these are low wattage speakers connected to a higher wattage stereo, but you know, it's fine for me. Alright, they both work. That's all I care about. Well, today's Friday, the 26th of June, and as you can see, look at that creek completely full. We're getting massive rain here. It's going to be at least another half hour of a downpour. Big winds. Big winds are coming and going. There's power out everywhere. I understand wifey called me up and said that a tree limb fell on the hoop house. Oh, jeez, the last thing I wanted to hear. Well, the old rain has subsided a little bit. The creek has gone down, as you can see. Look at that sky. Is that a cool looking color? That looks really neat. I love Arkansas after a nice big downpour. I just wish it didn't downpour quite so much lately. We need a break. We need some rain, but not quite this much. I've got the guts out of the Montclair SS100 because I wanted to give it one more try to figure out where that light bulb was. I couldn't find it. It was not on the inside. It was not underneath. And I saw some screws on the back side over here. And I said, well, maybe that's it. Maybe I need to take this entire front off. And after I got all the screws out, the front, boy, I tell you what a rip and tear this has turned out to be, just to change a stupid light bulb. I can't believe it. Look what's right there. Let me get my pencil. There is the bulb. And it was underneath this black thing. I've got it taped apart now. And I'm getting ready to test it. It's just a long bulb. I don't even know what kind that is. Alright, let's go ahead and run the meter across this light bulb and see what happens here. There, we have continuity. Well, I guess the bulb is good. Or is it? It's possible. It's possible. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. This is very important. It's possible that the bulb is blown, and what I'm actually doing is reading up through this wire, down through whatever it's connected to over here, and then back through the other wire to the bottom. I may not be reading the filament on the bulb at all. I'll tell you what, the only way we're going to find out is to go ahead and disconnect that wire and take another reading. Let's see what we get. Alright, the top wire is disconnected. Now if I can do this one-handed, we'll be fortunate. Let's go ahead and hook up this one here and this one to the top. Let's see what kind of reading we get this time. Touch. Ho ho ho! Nothing. Let's try it again. Make sure I got good contacts here. Touch. Nothing. Now let's go up and touch this wire right here with one of the leads and see what we get. Look at there. Look at that. Just as I suspected. We were reading not through the light bulb. We were reading through whatever these two wires are connected to. Well, she's out and she does measure open. I can see the filaments slightly separated in there. It's a long filament. It's amazing they can even make stuff like that. Anyway, I have no idea what kind of bulb it is. I'm going to have to do a little searching around the internet. And for our good subscriber Buzz1151, he wanted to know how I had such sharp pencils. You know, it's kind of interesting. This is not the first time this question has been asked. Someone else asked it also quite a while back. It's called a pencil sharpener, Buzz. Duh. Until next time, this is John.